Hello and welcome to the News Made Simple podcast with me, Komodo Mudise. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is the 6th of October, 2025, and it is a Monday morning. This is the platform where we make news simple. We help you make sense of it all. So thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for choosing us. I just want to take a moment to thank all of you that have been moving from TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms to come onto here and to follow this platform. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your contributions, your comments, your likes, your sharing with all the people around you. It does not go unnoticed and it is much appreciated. Let's continue to make this platform grow as best as we can. All right, I want to encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe and share with all those around you. But also remember to click the notification bell so that you can be notified when the next episode is up. All right, this is the first of many. Today we take a look at the news week ahead. This is something that I want to do more of over the next, or in the future, just so that you have a sense of what's going on in the news cycle, because South Africa's news cycle is rather eventful. And I know that you want to know what's going on. You want to know what to prepare for in the week ahead. And that's exactly why I am here. All right, let's start with what happened this weekend. We saw a couple of events happening this weekend, but I think one worth noting is the ANC National Executive Committee meeting, where NEC members were gathered at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg. And from that, today is the last day of that NEC meeting. We're expecting President Cyril Ramaphosa to give a final report of what exactly happened, but also to unveil an economic plan from that NEC meeting. This economic plan is going to help the ANC almost lay a foundation and explain what they're going to be doing for the country's sluggish economy. The economy is not looking the way that it should. It's not in the best shape that it could be. And so the ANC has the task to almost present to the country how they're planning on addressing this. Even though we are being ruled and governed by a government of national unity, the ANC still has hopes of retaining power and gaining absolute power in the future, or regaining absolute power, I should say. So the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, ANC president, well, this is in his capacity as ANC president, I should say, he will be presenting that economic plan at the end of the NEC meeting today. So that's a story to keep your eye on. And then something else that's happening this week is the JSC interviews. The Judicial Service Commission is having interviews to fill vacancies in the country's courts. The JSC, of course, is comprised by politicians as well as members of the legal fraternity, candidates that are chosen by the president to come in and to run this body that chooses who ascends to positions within the judiciary. This week, we are expecting a hearing into the JSC in particular around or to fill vacancies in the courts, including the Constitutional Court, as well as the Supreme Court, the Labour Court, and some of the high courts. That's expected to happen this week. The JSC is scheduled to sit for the next 2 weeks, so it's this week and next week. But for this week, we're expecting some of the main or higher courts. So this is the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court, a Labour Court. I should say the specialized court, because the Labour Court is a specialized court. And then we do know that if there is still some time, there will be hearings for the high courts as well as next week, there will be more hearings to fill vacancies in the High Court. There are vacancies in the KZN High Court, the Free State High Court, as well as the Gauteng High Court that need to be filled. So keep your eye on that. Now, staying on the Judicial Service Commission, you may know that there is no Madlanga Commission this week. It's not going to be happening at all. And that's one of the reasons is that one of the commissioners at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that is Advocate Ceci Baloyi SC, she is a member of the JSC and she's going to be at those interviews. It's important that she be there as one of the president's representatives. So the commission has taken a bit of a break and there will be no Madlanga for the next couple of weeks. You remember that we stopped abruptly at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry because Dumsani Kumalo, the crime intelligence boss, fell ill. And then this week, there was scheduled to be a break anyway because Advocate Ceci Baloyi needs to be at the JSC interviews. So she'll be there this week. We don't know how it will look next week because Madlanga resumes next week, but we will be on the lookout for that to see how things happen there. So yes, no Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. However, there is something that is related to General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi happening this week. Parliament's ad hoc committee will start its work this week. We are expecting those hearings to be heard this week, where General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi is expected to be the first witness, just as he was at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. We know that the ad hoc committee, Parliament's ad hoc committee, will be investigating these claims that he has made in the same way that the Madlanga Commission had been investigating them. The big criticism against Parliament's ad hoc committee is that they failed to do something at the beginning of the year, around March, when Mkhwanazi appeared before them. And the question that's been asked is, why didn't you do anything then? Why did you wait for there to be an explosive press briefing in July and now a Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? And only now does Parliament want to act and do something about this? Well, what we're expecting is that General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi will be the first witness. In terms of time, we're expecting him to spend about 2 days on the witness stand before Parliament, and then General Fani Masemola is going to follow him, just as we saw in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. So if you missed the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, or you missed Mkhwanazi's testimony there, you might want to redeem yourself and listen or listen during Parliament sitting, where we are expecting the nature of the questions to be very similar. Maybe the approach of Parliament is more inquisitorial and not investigative. But yeah, we're going to be seeing that happening over the next few days. So keep your eye on that. The ad hoc committee for Parliament begins on Tuesday, and also the JSE Commission of Inquiry interviews also begin on Tuesday. All right, another story to keep your eye on is that flotilla that's been intercepted by the Israeli Navy. South Africans being part of those humanitarian groups that were taking aid into Gaza. The flotilla being intercepted for a couple of days now. We know that Nelson Mandela's grandson, Mandla Mandela, is out there among the South Africans who have been captured. We are hearing that the International Relations Department, DIRCO, they are saying that their attempts at freeing or bringing the South Africans that are intercepted or captured back home are at an advanced stage. So if I were you this week, I would keep an eye on that story, and I'll also keep you updated on that story as the week progresses. And then another story that I'd be on the lookout for is Katiso KT Molefe, who is the alleged crime boss. He has been applying for bail. He's appealing the bail judgment or the judgment to deny him bail in the High Court. We heard his arguments last week. Judgment was reserved. I am expecting that judgment could be handed down this week by the Johannesburg High Court. Of course, it's an appeal process, so we are expecting to see judgment being handed down sometime this week. He believes that the decision to deny him bail was unconstitutional. He's insisting that a higher court had already granted him bail in the Armand Swart matter, meaning that he is eligible for bail. But also he's argued that, when he was out on bail, he did nothing to interfere with police investigations. There's absolutely no reason why he should be denied bail. So keep your eye on that. I will be keeping my eye on that as well and keeping you updated. All right, this does bring me to the end of the News Week Ahead feature right here on News Made Simple. Please follow me on my Instagram as well as TikTok. I will add the links under the description box so that you can know where to find me. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a fruitful week ahead. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to share. But until next time, it is goodbye.